Hi, everybody. You might be approaching the end of your financial year, and it's the perfect time to get your Sage 50 accounts in order. The year end process itself is simple. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned pro or if it's your first time, it's just a few steps in the wizard. But before you dive in, there are some important checks and housekeeping tasks that will just make everything run smoothly. Things like archiving your company data just keeps it organised and improves performance. We'll show you how to create an archive and why it's a good habit. Then there's backing up your data, which is essential before making any changes, and we'll share best practice just to ensure your backups are reliable. And avoid accidental postings into a closed period by setting a lock date. It's quick to do and it saves headaches later. We'll also guide you through the year end wizard as well, step by step, so you can complete the process with confidence. If you need to tidy up older unused records, we'll show you how to do that as well in our Delete Your Records webinar. And then we'll also cover how to clear the audit trail. It can help speed things up, and we'll explain when it's appropriate and how to do that safely. So to help you to prepare, we're hosting a series of live webinars throughout January and February. These sessions will give you practical tips and demonstrations so you feel confident about your year end and keep your accounts in great shape. Don't miss this opportunity to start the new year with clean, organised data and peace of mind. Make sure you reserve your spot today at sage.co.uk/webinars, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Hi everyone, it's that time again when you might be starting to think about your year end. The year end process itself is straightforward. It's a simple wizard that includes a few options. However, before this, there's the preparation stage, ensuring you've posted everything, and of course, it involves running reports. But do you understand your reports and also the opportunities that you have to develop them? Ensuring they're accurate, but also that they provide you with a correct level of detail. Throughout January and February, we're running a series of live webinars to help develop your knowledge and understanding of the management reports available in Sage 50 accounts. We'll be starting with the basics, understanding nominal records and the structure of the nominal ledger. This is also ideal if you need to create new nominal codes. Following on from this, we'll examine the chart of accounts, looking at all aspects, including adding new layouts and editing existing ones. Our attention then turns to the management reports themselves, the trial balance, the profit and loss, and of course the balance sheet. We'll explain how to run them, what they show, and most importantly, how the figures calculate. We want you to be confident. On the management report session, one of the most common scenarios we're asked about is where you haven't yet run your year end, but need to generate a profit and loss report for your next financial year. We've got your back with this and have a specific webinar that explores the options you have available, whether it's running reports for your new financial year or even a previous one. The last webinar in the series looks at reconciling your age debtors and age creditor reports at year end, ensuring that the balances agree with the figures on your trial balance and the balance sheet. Of course, this could be done at any time, such as part of your month-end process. So come along and we'll demonstrate what to check and how to run them to ensure everything agrees. If you'd like to attend any or all of these sessions to help develop your knowledge and boost your confidence, then simply head along to sage.co.uk/webinars and register for your free place. These, along with loads of other topics, including how to run your year end, are available. See you soon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Michael. I'm going to be your host for this afternoon's session. This is part 2 of our budget series. So we're looking at the advanced budgeting options that you've got available in Sage 50 accounts. If you didn't get a chance to attend part 1, there is a recording of that one on our recordings page. Obviously, it covers the standard budgeting method. The standard budgeting option, it's available on all levels of the software. We'll have a little bit of a recap on that one as we're going through and looking at the various screens as well. Right, now before we get stuck into the webinar, as normal, we'll quickly run through just a touch of housekeeping. So as normal, you don't need a microphone for these sessions. It doesn't look like anyone's enabled one today. If you do enable one at any point when you join a webinar, you'll find you're muted automatically. That's done, so you don't have to worry about anything. It does mean, because you're muted, of course, that if you've got any questions, you'll need to pop them into the questions panel. To access that, you just click the little speech bubble icon. It should be on the toolbar down the right-hand side of your screen. Give it a click, it'll expand the box on the right, and then you'll have access to the text box at the bottom where you can click into and start typing. So any comments, questions along the way, pop them in there. I'll try to react to those, just myself running the session with you. So do bear with me if you have any questions or comments. But do engage with me, keep popping them in there if you've got anything at all that you're not sure about. There is an opportunity to download the slides. Not a great deal of information on the slides. You will find the detailed information available from our help centre should you need it. As normal, the session is being recorded. A link to the recording will be included on your follow-up email. You'll receive that round about an hour after you finish. The email also includes 2 links, one to our registration page. So if you are interested in attending any of those webinars that were mentioned at those 2 little videos that we play at the beginning now, so the management reports or the data management areas, then do have a look at that and get yourself signed up. Also include a link to our recordings page. So if you've missed any sessions, you need a bit of a recap on maybe sessions that you've attended in the past, then obviously that recordings page, it should include them. Can't find anything, whether it's a live session or recording, do get in touch. You can reply to any of the webinar emails, just as usual. Right, now for today's session, for covering advanced budgets, this is what we're going to cover. So a little introduction to advanced budgeting in Sage 50 accounts. We'll then just run through a series of demonstrations. There's 3 advanced options, so we'll be covering those. So we'll be looking at, first of all, how you can set and check your method. We'll be looking at, obviously, the 3 options themselves, so advanced nominal code, advanced department overview, and advanced department in depth, all slightly different. So we'll be running through them, showing you the options and what you can do. I'm going to touch on reports. Obviously, it's an important part of budgeting. Give it a go. Mentioned this last time in part 1 if you did get a chance to attend that one. So how can you have a go in your software? I think quite important for budgeting. It's one of those that you probably want to have a go of just to see how it works in your software before maybe you commit to an option and start keying in figures. So you can do a little bit of a trial on that in your software. And then just at the end, I'll explain more about the additional support and we'll open up to questions if there's any outstanding at that point. I will obviously just try and react to them and pick them up as we're running through though. Right, let's start with a little bit of background first of all. So we are going to look at this in a second in the software. Where can you set and check your method? Nice and easy within settings, company preferences, and you'll have a budgeting tab. Now, I've got a screenshot there. Make it look a little bit different in your software, maybe your color scheme. You might have less options along the top tab wise, and also because of your resolution as well, it may look a little bit different. But everyone will have a budgeting tab. Options within there will depend on the level of your software. So options you've got, first of all, that budgeting method, by default it would say standard. If you're on either the Sage 50 account standard or professional levels of the software, from that drop down you'll also be able to choose the advanced option. So you don't get that if you're on the essentials level of the software. You'll still see it as a drop down, but you won't have the option to choose advanced from it. So for today's session, obviously we're looking at advanced. Really, you need to be on standard or professional to gain access to those. When you choose advanced, the budgeting type box beneath that will become active, and that's where you can choose one of the 3 types that are available. So let's take a look at that in the software. Now, the first one we're going to look at in the software is advanced by nominal code. Now, if you did a 10-part one, or you're familiar with this standard budgeting option, then advanced by nominal code is very, very similar. You'll enter the information in a different way, different area, but it's very similar. You will enter your budgets on a monthly basis. There are extra benefits though. So you can obviously view previous year's budgets. I think off the top of my head, it's up to the previous 5 years, the current year, and a forecast year. That's the forecast year is one of the big advantages of being on one of the advanced methods. It's the same throughout. So it means that you can have your current year's budgets, but if you need to change those budgets for what will be your new financial year, you can do that in the forecast year. Whereas when you're on the standard method, it's just one set of budget figures, months 1 to 12. And you can't, if you do change it for what will be your new financial year, it will, those changes apply to your current year as well. So that's one of the big changes. There's an option to copy values, so copying values, budget values to succeeding months. You'll be able to increase, decrease figures by a value or percentage. One of the important things with budgeting though, and I'll keep mentioning this because we always get asked about it, is can you import? You can't, not into the advanced budgeting areas. So in part one, when we covered the standard budgeting methods, was really easy. You imported via the nominal records option, and it meant you could import budget values, but you can't import to the advanced budgets area. So let's have a look at advanced budgets by nominal code in Sage 50 accounts. So I'll share my screen, we'll get stuck into a bit of a demo. So to start with, we're going to go into settings at the top, choose company preferences. It's just going to prompt me to log in at that point. So re-entering my password, and it'll bring up the company preferences window. So as I mentioned, you will have the budgeting tab at the top. And at the moment, and this is the default if you never touch the budgeting options, it is set to standard. So if I switch that to advanced, and then some of the options become active. So budgeting type. So we're going to start with the nominal code option. So you can see the three that we're going to cover today: nominal code, department overview, and department in depth. So we'll leave it set to nominal code, just OK that. Get a little spinning sort of progress wheel while it does that. You may find it needs to recalculate when you change. If you need information about changing, then there is a great article in our help center to do with that. Alison, you mentioned there how are advanced budgets entered then. So you'll see that in a minute. It depends which of the methods you choose as to the level of detail you want. So if you wanted to split your departments by department and by nominal code, and you're doing that over 12 months, then yes, you would need to key those values in. Now, as you'll see in the demo in a minute, you can either do individual months or you can do a total per nominal code. But it depends which of the three methods you enter as to the detail that you'll need to enter. But you'll see that in the demo as we run through. Right, now if we just first of all pop into nominal codes, and when we go into a nominal record, so I'll just bring up the 4000 nominal code that we used when we were looking at the standard budgets options. Now for standard budgets, we would have had a budgets column, so you don't get that when you switch to one of the advanced methods. So it disappears. Now, it could have disappeared because you maybe hidden it as well, but unlikely. But that might be the other reason. So if I just right click on any of the column headings, it'll show you what columns I can show and hide. So budgets isn't there, so I know I'm set up for one of the advanced methods. So we'll just close out of that. So instead of entering it directly within the nominal record itself, we either need to go into nominal codes and then click budgets at the top here. I'll just click into it. Bring up the new budgets window. So this is the advanced budgets window. Alternatively, we can go in via departments. And again, you'll have the budgets option at the top. Brings up the same window though. So we'll just wait for budgets to load and then we'll start entering some. Right. Okay, so this is the advanced budgets window. So they're very similar for all three options, but the level of detail that you can enter, it does vary. So first of all, I'll just quickly mention this sort of area here where it says budget details. So we've got the year, which obviously defaults to your current financial year. If I click on the drop down, it means that if I needed to, I could see up to the 5 previous financial years. So I can see not only actuals, but we can see budget figures, variances, etc. as well. So I'm just going to leave it set to my current year. We've got the chart of accounts. Now you maybe noticed when we set the budgets option, we could choose a default chart of accounts to be displayed in here. We can change it if required, but it will pick up your default by as standard. So I'm just going to leave those all set as they are. Now to enter budgets, we've got one of 2 ways of doing that. You'll see we've got budget figures or budget section at the bottom here. Now I can't click into that at the moment. I can try, but it doesn't do anything. What we need to do is drill down through in the nominal area, through the relevant chart of accounts areas to the nominal code that we want to enter the budgets against. So if we pick on sales as an example, and some of you, hopefully the majority of you, will be familiar with the chart of accounts. If you're not, do get yourself signed up for some of those upcoming webinars we've got. So we're going to be covering things like nominal records webinar, we've got a chart of accounts webinar, and you'll see how the two of them go hand in hand. So at this stage, we've expanded sales. It shows us the headings for the nominal ranges from this chart of accounts. Now, if I click onto product sales, just to highlight that, you'll see I still can't do anything at the bottom here. I can click, but it doesn't do anything. It doesn't pull any information through, doesn't let me enter any information at that stage. What I've got to do is I've got to expand the category so that it lists the nominal codes that are included in that category. Now, again, if obviously this one, product sales, these are the nominal codes that it's picking up within that range. If you've amended the default chart of accounts, amended the ranges, it would show you the appropriate nominal codes for the one that you've expanded. Now, when I click onto an individual nominal code now, you'll see that actually it does load some values now. And this is where this sort of monthly breakdown, it now becomes active. So this is similar to the standard budgeting method, where you went into the nominal record and you completed the budgets column. So in this case, you highlighted the nominal code, and this time you just need to enter the figures in the appropriate row. Now, I can click against the relevant month and I can start typing. Go just tab along to the next field, and again, I can start typing in the appropriate budget values, whatever I want that to be. As I do that, it'll start adding up that total budget for me. I'll get total actual, and it'll show me total variance as well. So one minus the other. Now that's one way of entering it. Now that was similar to going into nominal record, the nominal record for the standard budgeting method. You've got a similar option to the one that we had for standard budgets as well, where we entered a total at the bottom of the budgets column. So remember when we keyed that in, it said, right, do you want to divide that equally between the appropriate months? And if you click yes, it would just update that budgets column. So it would evenly split that value that you've keyed in. So you've got that one as well. So if I just keyed in, let's say 24,000, and as I tab out of that field, you'll get a similar message. do you want to apportion this value across 12 months? And I've got a yes or no option. But choose no, I'm just back to where I was. If I do that again, this time we'll click yes to that prompt. So do you want to apportion it? Yes. Now when I click yes, it's going to override the budget values that I've just keyed in there. So it replaces those, updates them. Now I can still amend them if I want to. No problem with that. It's still, I could click against July, for instance, say, well, actually that month, it's going to be 5,000, whatever I want it to be. It'll just update it accordingly. So even then, when I've keyed that one in, it just updates the total budget value accordingly as well. So they're not set in stone. It's a nice, easy way of keying in your budget value. So unless that might be something you consider, it depends if you need to break it down by monthly by nominal code. If that's the method you choose, of course, you might not. Now, what you've got on here, obviously you've got your budget value, you've got an actual value based on the transactions that have been entered against the relevant nominal codes in the relevant financial year. So in my case, I'm in the 2025 financial year. Now we've got a forecast year as well. So we've got some at the bottom here. So again, we can't enter a total this time. We don't have that for the forecast year. So just be a case of keying that in. Again, nice and easy to do. Just a case of tabbing between the fields. Just pop some nice round figures in there. If you want to go back the other way, just hold down your Shift key and press your Tab key. It'll start going back through the fields in sort of a reverse direction. But that's the easy way to key them in. So it means that if these budget figures are for your current financial year, it means that you can start building up your budgets for what will be your new financial year. So as once I've run year end and I move into 2026, when you run year end, it will give you the option, what do you want your budgets to be? Do you want them just to stay as they are using the existing budgets, or do you want to use your forecast year? And it would make sense if you have entered forecast values that's what you would use. Well, that's done as part of that year-end process itself. Now, other than that, you would just save it and that will be it done. So that's how you do it against an individual or the advanced nominal code level. So it's just a case of you browsing through to the relevant nominal code. When you do that, it will give you these boxes at the bottom will become active. And it just means that you can start keying them in. Any questions on that method at all? Now, if you do expand one of these sort of nominal categories, and let me just change to this one for a moment. Can't remember if I've still got a problem in this one or we changed it for the last time round. So in this instance, if I was looking for nominal code 4002, for instance, or 4001, as I expand that, I can't see that. And that's because it's not included in the relevant chart of accounts range. So this one that's called Michael Partial, if I just close out of the budgeting area for a moment, go into nominal codes, and then if I go into chart of accounts, select the relevant chart of accounts, I edit it, and in the sales section, these are the two ranges that came up there. So if I'll just change it to 4002 as an example, and I'll save the changes. Yeah, there are errors in there, I know there are, but just to show you what that would look like and how it gets pulled through. We'll go back to budgets. So remember, you can go via nominal codes, budgets at the top, or departments and then budgets. So if we now switch back to my partial chart of accounts, and again, I'll just expand sales, expand product sales, and you can see because I've extended that range in my chart of accounts, you can see it picking it up. So if you are browsing through and you think, there's one missing, it's not there for some reason, it's going to be a chart of accounts. It's either in another range or maybe it hasn't been included at all. So I'm just going to set back to the default, which has got my full range in there. And again, if I expanded sales, product sales, I'm back to where I was at the beginning of the session. Again, just highlight. When we highlight nominal code level, that's when the values become active. That's because I'm set up for the nominal code level. Right, no questions coming through so far, so we'll go back to the slides. We're going to pick up on the second advanced type this time, and it's advanced department overview. Now, this enables you to set up a budget at department level, but it is based around those top level nominal categories, so sales, purchases, direct expenses, overhead. So those top level groupings on your essentially your profit and loss area. So you've got pretty much the same options. Again, they can't be imported. You can't import against any of the advanced methods. So this is one where, again, you might consider, well, what level do I need to get to? So if I'm analyzing my sales, do I need to do it by nominal code? Do I need to do it via department? Just have sort of department totals for sales, department totals for purchase, or do I need to go to a much more in-depth, and do I need to go down to nominal code level? Department by nominal code level, we're going to pick up on that sort of option after this one. But this one is all about sort of top level. So entering that budget for each department at sort of total sales level, total purchases level. Again, benefits wise, pretty much the same. You can view previous budgets, so up to 5 years. Your current year, your forecast year, you can use the copy values option that's within there as well to help you enter them. And again, just that note at the bottom there, advanced budget values cannot be imported. We'll switch back to my screen. We'll again quickly run through a bit of a demo. So to change the method, I'm just going to go into settings, company preferences. It'll prompt me for my passwords. Into the budgeting tab at the top. And this time I'm going to set it to department overview, so the second option of the three that are listed. Now again, if you wanted to, the chart of accounts that comes up there when you go into the budgeting area, this is where you can set that. If you're forever going in and changing it, if you've got more than one chart of accounts, you can set a default in there. I'll just leave it as is. Right, we'll just let that run through. It recalculates very quickly. And then that's done. Right, so let's have a look at entering budgets for this method. So we're going to nominal codes, budgets. Again, even with the department options, when you get involved with the departments, you don't need to access the budgets via the department area. So this time it's a similar layout. The bit that's different is this section here. You can't drill down this time. It just says sales, purchases. But this bit's new this time. It's a bit different. So this time you can choose your department. So you'll choose your department. So I'll just choose department 1. And this time when I highlight sales, the figures become active. So I can't drill down to nominal category or even nominal code now. It's just you're entering that total sales value for department number 1. Alison, you were just asking there, can there be more than one budget stored for any given year? No. So it's essentially one set of budget values that you have. So again, I can enter those in the same way. So I can I'll click into the relevant month to enter the value. Just tab to the next one, etc. sure you get the idea of that one. But again, I also have the total budget option again. So I'll do 36,000. And again, when I tab out of that field, I'll get that message. Do you want to apportion this value across the 12 months? So if I choose yes, it overwrites the values that are there. In its relevant monthly value. And again, I'm in the position where if I wanted to, even though I've done that, I can then change it if I want to. I can just, again, click into the relevant field and change whatever I want at that point. Forecast, again, same as the option that you had previously. So just a case of clicking in, you can set the values. You've got a copy values option as well. This was picked up on the slides as well. So use this option to copy budgets across the year. So if I say, right, I want to do it incremental, and we'll just do it as, if I just type in, let's say a 10. Oh. And you'll see from that point where I've keyed in a value there, so we've got 3,000, this is the one I had highlighted. From that point, it'll increment by sort of essentially the 10 that are keyed in. So we'll do that month on month. So that's another way of keying it in. Sometimes a little bit easier to key it in that way as well. It depends, again, just depends what you want. But once I've done that, I've still got that flexibility of being able to override values if necessary. So no matter how you do your budgets, they are not cast in stone. A lot of people worry about that when they get to maybe year end, when it prompts them about using budget values. Not using it so far, I'll tick the box now, should I, shouldn't I? And thinking that, right, that's the point you've got to commit. That's not the case. You can go into your budget values at any time and amend them. So that's the advanced department overview option. So quite top level, that one, quite quick to key them in then. So you're just looking for one sales value for each department, as it were. Any additional questions on that method? If not, we'll go back to the slides and we're going to pick up on our third and final method, which is department in-depth. So Alison, I think this is what you were alluding to a little bit as well. This is, as it suggests, it is in-depth. It's the most detailed budget analysis option that you have available. So this enables you to set up budgets for department, but also it does it all the way down to nominal account. So if you think for the two methods we've looked at so far, it almost like combines the two. And it really just depends what you're after. So it means per department, you can set budget values per nominal code. So as it suggests there, it is by far the most detailed option that you've got available. Same benefits, no difference. I've included some help center links on there as well, just if you need them. That information is really easy to find though if you do need that. But let's have a look at this in the software so you can see what that looks like. Go back to my screen. We'll close out of that one. We'll go back to settings and company preferences. And back into the budgeting tab. We're going to choose the third method from that drop-down, department in-depth. Okay, so we access them in exactly the same way, either via nominal codes, departments, or departments, and then the budgets option. It brings up the same screen. And again, you top section, budget details area, you've got the same options, annual budget, same options, breakdown at the bottom, same options. It's this area here So it's combining the two. In the previous one, we had to choose our department, and then we couldn't expand down to nominal code level, but now we've got the two. So if we choose department number 1 as an example, which I've got set up as sales, and then to start entering budget values, we've got to navigate and drill down all the way down to nominal code level. So again, the way that you would key them in, exactly the same as what we've already looked at. You can key it in month by month. You can use the copy values option at the top. And also, if you prefer, you can just key in a total budget. And again, as you move out of that field, it will prompt you, right, do you want to portion that equally between the months? Once you've done that, you've still got the same options where you can amend them if required. So obviously keying in this one, it's worthwhile spending a bit of time thinking, well, actually, what do I need to record? What level of information do I need from the software? Can I get at that information? Do the reports support me with that one? And this is where I would encourage you to give it a try. Now, if you're not using budgets at all in your software, you can always have a go of it, even on your live data. But I think I would encourage you, I think when you sort of, I suppose when you're experimenting and deciding, what you probably don't want to do is do that type of process in your live data. So you do have within your software, you've got the demonstration and the practice company. So I was going to cover that a little bit later on, but I might as well just cover it quickly now. So we've seen how what options you've got, and if I just switch to department number 2 as an example, very quickly, and you'll see obviously my budget values and actual values for that matter have disappeared because I'm in the relevant figures for department 2 now. And again, just choose your department, drill down all the way to nominal code level, and it would just be a case of keying in those budget values. Now to give it a go, you've got, as I say, you've got sort of, I suppose there's 3 options these days if you want an up-to-date version. One is to go into File, Open, and you've got the demo data. I'll just quickly show you this one. So that's me in the demo data at that point. Looks pretty much the same because I'm actually using a copy of the demonstration data. But that demonstration data, you'll see when you select it, it changes the company name to Stationery and Computer Mart UK. So you're in a fictitious company at that point, and means you'll have loads of customers, suppliers, bank accounts, nominal codes, departments. And again, if you need it, you can go into settings, you can go into company preferences, and you can have essentially you can have a play around. Budgeting is included in this one, so you can have a play around with the methods in here and start having see how that would work. That's one option you've got. The other option for having a play around, or the 2 options, or when you go to File, Open, you'll have an option of Open Practice Data. Now, if you're on 30.1 or above, when you access the Practice Data option, you get these 2 options. You can use your blank data, starts from scratch. So let's just quickly use that one for a moment. So it'll tell you at the top, I'm in the practice company. This will mean if I go to if I go to customers as an example. It's taking a while to load there. So practice company, I started with a blank set of data. So it's almost like there'll be nothing in there whatsoever, apart from, of course, you have some nominal codes in there. So you've got the basic nominal structure when you go in. Really good if you want to just test something and see how it works, what else it affects within your software. So you're not distracted by the loads of other information. The other option when you go into practice data, I'll just go back to my company data first of all. Just let that reset there. So I'll go into my live copy that we've been using for the demo so far. This yellow bar should disappear once I've logged in. There we go. So this is me back in my live company that we've been looking at so far. And what you've got the option for here is if we go to File, and again Open, and you've got the Open Practice Data, and it's this option here. This is the relatively new, so you need to be on 30.1 or above for this option to exist, is the Use My Data. Now what this enables you to do is go into the practice company, and rather than it being blank, it enables you to restore a backup of your data into it. Now that will be active, the copy of your data, so not your live data, but it's a copy of it, or whatever the backup is that you restore. So you can go into that one, and it means you can have a play around on data that you're familiar with. So you can see how things work. So if you are thinking, well, which is the right budget option for me, this hopefully gives that will give you a much better idea. So again, for this one, you would just use my data. You would just click browse for your backup file, wherever you got that, and let that restore into the practice company, and then it'll open it up in practice mode, and you'll be able to have a good play around with that, learn more about it. Now, if you do close out of that, it essentially resets it. So it's, again, something to be aware of. So if you do it before your lunch, and then you think, oh, just close out of Sage, you go for your lunch, come back. As soon as you go back into the practice company, you're going to get these same two prompts again. Right, okay, now I want to quickly mention, the other thing I want to mention is reports and some of the resources you've got available as well. So I'll just pop back to the slides very quickly. So resources wise, you'll probably want to have a look at the reports that you've got available as well. Make sure you can get at the information that you are after. There is, of course, the report finder option. So if you're on version 30 and above, you do have the report finder option within the software. I'll show you that in a moment. Everyone will also have access to the Which report option, which is built into our help center. So those two pretty much do the same thing. Which report has been around within the help center for a very long time. The idea of that is that it helps you get to the report that you're after. It's probably one of our most common queries with regard to reports. Is there a report on this, and where do I find it? And that's the idea of these two resources. It helps you to get at the report. There is a recorded webinar as well. We used to run Budgets Part 3, which looked at analysis and reports, but we've had very, very few people ever turn up to that one, so we just leave it there as a recording now. But that link should work for you if you want to take that a bit further. Within the Help Center as well, I probably could have included this link. If I just go back to my screen for a moment, see if I'll find the right option there. There we go. So if I go into just the main Help Center page, so sage.co.uk/help, choose Sage 50 accounts, it'll take you to this page. And if I just search for budget reports, and there's a great option here, this article here, the budget reports available in Sage 50 accounts and where to find them. So this will give you a list of all of the reports that you have, the standard reports. It'll tell you which ones, these ones here are applicable to standard. There's advanced ones for the advanced methods. So they're the standard reports. Have a look through that, see what information is available if you get a chance. I'm not going to run through those because obviously they will vary depending on whether you're a standard or advanced, or if you're on advanced, which of the three methods that you're set up for. But have a look through that. It should be nice and easy to find. Just search for budget reports. It should find it for you. Just make sure you can get at the information that you're after. Right, if you have any final questions, as it does bring us towards the end of the demo this afternoon, if you want to quickly pop them in there, remember you can download the handout while you are on the session today, which is a copy of today's slides. 2 versions available. There's the full colour copy of the slides, and there's what we term the print-friendly version. But remember, there was that detailed information about the budgets or anything else in your software for that matter. You'll find that in our Help Centre. Help Centre, obviously, we just had a quick look at that. As well as searching, you can browse through the various areas, whether it's information on installing, protecting your data. There's Copilot information in there these days, etc. So do check that out. It's a great resource. Our Community Hub is also a great source of information as well. If you've not come across the Community Hub before, it's basically our online forum. So there are areas dedicated to each region across the world, but also it splits that by product as well. So I'm sure you wouldn't want to be, seeking advice from about Sage 50 accounts based in Australia, for instance, or South Africa, or Canada, for instance. They're all slightly different. Might have the same product name, but it means that you can get specific information to yours. So this is where our customers come together, share knowledge, swap ideas, problem solving. Doesn't have to necessarily relate to your software. It might just be business advice that you're looking for, or maybe advice that you can offer. Free to join. If you haven't yet signed up, just head along to communityhub.sage.com. So I've included the link on the handout for that one as well. Currently, we're running a learning survey as well. So it's a 2-question survey. If you've got your phone handy, if you want to quickly scan the QR code, 2 questions. One will be about, right, what do you want extra learning on? And this is non-product or non-Sage product learning. So is it AI you want? Is it legislation you want to learn about? Second question would be, right, what format do you want that provided in? So if you don't mind, if you can do that, take that opportunity, have your say. So is it e-learns, webinars, teacher-led training? Let us know. So if you do that, again, that link and that QR code, if you need it, it is included on the handout. Right, I've got a couple of questions. I'll come back to them in just a moment, but just for those that are about to leave, many thanks for coming along. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's maybe just helped you decide, are you going to use it or you're not? Maybe it's just giving you food for thought. You just want to develop your knowledge, see what else is out there feature-wise. Maybe it's confirmed actually. Maybe your software doesn't do what you're after, but you still know. But do have a go. See if it works for you or not. There'll be a little survey pop up as you do leave. Standard sort of survey. If you've got any thoughts, feedback that you want to share with us, take a minute to complete that. Let us know what your thoughts, ideas are. Did the webinar hit the mark? Is it what you expected? Is it not? And again, watch out for your follow-up email containing the links to register for our upcoming webinars, to watch the recordings, and of course, there'll be a link to this afternoon's recording as well. So if you're about to leave, hopefully I'll see you again on some of the other sessions that we've got booked in. We've got loads booked in for this week. I think I'm running another 5 of them. Laura's running another couple. So get yourself signed up and get on some of those sessions. Just want to pick up on Darren's question from earlier. Darren was asking, are there any future plans to be able to import budgets into the advanced department in depth? Not that I'm aware of yet, Darren, but if you want that, I would encourage you to submit that as a request. I would imagine it probably already has, but hasn't been included as of yet. If anyone else has any thoughts and ideas like that as well, product-wise, that you would like to see a change, you think, oh, I wish it would do this. To do that, all you need to do is get into your software on the home page. So this will be the page similar to what you get when you open your software. If you don't get this page, just on the toolbar at the top, click home. And then if you scroll down, bottom left, there'll be a roadmap option. Into the roadmap, just scroll down, and where you've got this option here, have your say. So you can click the link, it'll take you across to a section of our community hub, and this is where you can add your ideas. So you can add new ideas, you can read them, view them, vote on them, add your weight behind it. It's up to you. So anything you can think of, get it on there. So just to confirm, that was the home page. Scroll down where it says roadmap, give it a click, then scroll down to the have your say option, click the link, it'll take you into the ideas portal. Alison, you mentioned not sure that it's practical and you might be better off with sticking to exporting the actuals to Excel. That's fine. So again, you've seen how it works today. It helps you decide whether it's right for you or not. Okay, so we'll end the webinar just at that point. Many thanks for coming along. If you do think of anything else, do get in touch. You can reply to any of the webinar emails. If you need to specifically speak to someone, then get in touch with our support team in the usual way. But otherwise, watch out for your follow-up email and do get yourself registered for some of those upcoming webinars. And hopefully, I'll see you on another one very soon. Many thanks.